So for my multi-modal project, I thought I would analyze one of my all-time favorite movies, Ready Player One, through a feminist lens. Ready Player One is a sci-fi film that takes place 25 years into the future. The Earth is on the brink of collapse, and the people left on it find salvation in a VR game called The Oasis. The film follows a young man named Wade Watts and his friends Samantha, H, Daito, and Sho as they race to beat Halliday's challenge before the evil corporation IOI and its overlord Nolan Sorrento do.
People come to the Oasis for all the things they can do, but they stay because of all the things they can be.
This is one of the most impactful lines in Ready Player One. Not only does this quote have meaning for the plot of the film, but it also symbolizes a real-life feeling that so many can relate to. Many people today would love nothing more than escape from reality to a place like the Oasis, a place where you can be whoever and do whatever you want with absolutely no ridicule or prejudice. So you're probably wondering how I'm going to take what we've learned in class and relate it back to Ready Player One. I thought I would kick things off with representation. Stuart Hall defines representation as the content depicted on screen, whether they are images, sounds, or words that are given meaning. Taking this a step further, Media Insider says that media representations aren't reflections of things that already have meaning. They are the meaning makers of things that have happened in reality. When it comes to this film, these representations are given to us through the main characters who each stand to represent something greater than the film itself. Despite its valiant effort to showcase diverse characters, Ready Player One still fails to overcome the typical role of minority characters that plague most blockbusters. These characters often fall into the same stereotypical categories. Asians are martial arts experts, mischievous, surgeons, tech whizzes, and masseuses. African American characters are stereotypically black bucks, religious inner-city thugs or Uncle Toms, and women are usually pretty damsels, love interests, sexy leads, pretty much eye candy for whoever's viewing. Breaking it down by character, Ready Player One does achieve some positive strides for minority characters, but still struggles in the grand scheme of things. Take Samantha for example. She's one of the best players in the game that is overrun by men. Due to this, she exerts the characteristics some may argue to be masculine. Benshoff and Griffin define masculinity as someone who is large, loud, and active, with non-emotional aggression and leadership abilities. Samantha embodies all these qualities throughout the film. She is active and passionate in her pursuit to stop IOI. She's emotional and driven because of what happened to her father, and demonstrates a leadership ability while aiding the high five along their quest. But while all these things are great for women in film, Samantha is still your typical female love interest that is there for the main white male lead, in this case Wade. While Samantha represents every girl that has ever been good at something that is stereotypically done by a man, her attachment to Wade brings her back to every other female character. In a Mediaversity review of the film, they liked how Spielberg's film adaptation has Samantha adopt a more active role on screen. It's exciting to see her infiltrate the headquarters of the corporate villains, a mission that was undertaken by Wade in the book, albeit a different, longer operation. It gave her more room to stand alone as a strong character as opposed to Wade's right-hand woman. This review highlights one of the final things Samantha does on her own. The rest is done in aid of Wade. Helen or H, on the other hand, is a far more interesting character to dive into. For her, we can take a deeper look into how her character falls under Kimberly Crenshaw's umbrella of intersectionality. Feminist frequency defines Crenshaw's theory as the moment when multiple oppressions occur at once for the same person. In the case of Helen, these forms of oppression occur from being both female and African American. Typically, we think of oppression occurring in one form, but in Helen's case, it can happen for either reason. While the film doesn't outwardly show how being both black and a woman may affect someone in society, the film does show how someone in Helen's situation might try and protect themselves from ridicule in the world run by VR. As Wade said earlier,
people come to the Oasis for all the things they can do, but they stay because of all the things they can be.
For Helen, she chooses this avatar of H as a way to escape her own reality, where she is subject to ridicule for her race, gender, and sex. Like I said, the film doesn't hand you this conclusion like it does with the rest of the plot, and instead allows for the viewer to make up their own meaning for why Helen goes by H in the Oasis. Now that I have re-examined my favorite film through a new lens, I was able to find a newer appreciation for it. While the film does fail to overcome the typical role of minority characters that most movies do, I still feel it does a good job at providing a film with a diverse cast of characters that someday may lead to more films like this one. Although I chose to do my project focusing on the roles of gender, this film had many other feminist parts that could have been utilized, such as the female and oppositional gazes. So with that said, I implore others to watch Ready Player One to uncover more on its feminist effects.